Okay, chapter 12. We are almost halfway, or a little more than halfway, of Frank Einstein and the Antimatter Motor. How's everyone doing? Keeping up? Moms, dads, grandma, grandpa, cousins, uncles, aunts? How we doing there? Yeah, some of these words are a little tricky even for Miss Mo. So it's okay if you don't know these words. Just follow along as best as you can. There's some of these words I even had to look up. Like, do you remember that? What was that? Part reptile, part mammal. I think it was a Dimetrodon. Yeah, I had to look that one up. So if there's some words here that you're not familiar with, it's okay, because we're all learning. I actually did I cheated a little bit, and I looked ahead, and first of all, I saw some science with the periodic table, which I wasn't very good at when I was a kid. So I see hydrogen and carbon and all. I was like, uh-oh, that's coming up. But that's okay. I'm going to get through it. And then Grandpa's coming up. And to do his voice really scratches my throat. So there might be some coughing in this one. Are we ready? Here we go. Chapter 12, page 100. Hey! Put your finger on the big giant K, that red K. Are you ready? Let's go. Clink, clank, Frank and Watson kick into high gear. Frank lays out his wrenches and soldering iron, screwdrivers and pliers, hacksaw and hammer, rulers, clamps, and files. He consults his plan and directs his team. Clink prints out blueprints, charts, and formulas. Clank hauls in bits and pieces of a bicycle, mower, and motorcycle, wires, tires, chains, and gears from the yard. Watson raids the repair shop and the kitchen for nuts and bolts and corkscrews and magnets. Frank solders and connects screws and bolts, hammers and files. Clink and Frank check, test, recheck, and retest, and test some more. Time flies by without anyone noticing it. Until suddenly, the fish in the wall wiggles, flips his head sideways, and starts singing, "We are the champions! We are the champions!" "Everyone, under the workbench," calls Frank. "No one can know about you guys or our project yet." Watson throws a blue tarp over everything and dives under the workbench with Clink and Clank. "Move over," beeps Clank. "You are hogging all the room." "I am not," whispers Clink. "Stop pushing," hisses Watson. "Shh," says Frank just as the door to the lab opens and, "Hello, scientists!" Watson, pushed by Clank's big foot, rolls out from under the workbench. "Oh, hi, Grandpa Al." "Dr. Watson, good to see you." Wait, why did Grandpa suddenly get an English accent? He wasn't British. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. "Dr. Watson, good to see you. Playing with the new robots?" Watson jumps to his feet. No, we are working on science prize stuff here. I've perfected my peanut butter bubblegum, and just wait till you see what Frank has." Clink and Clank roll, crawl, and unpack themselves from under the workbench. "Hey, boys, good to see you again. What have you been up to all morning?" Clank hums, blinks his antenna, and answers, "I have been up to about 1.8288 meters all morning. Doctor, in American measurements, 6 feet. Oh, that wasn't doctor, that was or. "Huh, good one," laughs Grandpa Al. "Except he's not kidding," says Frank. "He means it." Clink revs his vacuum engine. "We have actually been combining atoms and anti-atoms to produce energy for Frank Einstein's invention." "Huh, another good one. Making your own particle collider, just like my scientist pals at CERN, who have been smashing atomic parts together for years and spending millions of dollars to do it." Grandpa Al winks at Watson. "And you guys did it all in one day with repair shop junk. You robots are funnier than a monkey's uncle." He's not kidding either. Frank whips the blue tarp off the object in the middle of the room. It looks like a bike from the future. Instead of pedals and gears, it has a small silver motor. Grandpa Al checks it out and nods. "Your flying bicycle. I remember when you were working on this. But I could never get enough power in a small enough engine." Grandpa Al looks more closely at the engine and his eyes go wide. "No, really? So you mean you and your robots made an antimatter motor, says Frank. Grandpa Al takes off his faded NASA baseball cap and whistles. Well, if that isn't the bee's knees, unbelievable. Oh, very believable, says Clink. A small amount of H2O combined with an equal amount of anti-H2O produces crazy amounts of energy, marvels Grandpa Al. Frank holds up an eyedropper. You're just in time for the first test run. We have the anti-water we made all loaded. All we need to add now is the 1 drop of water. Grandpa Al puts a hand on Frank's arm. Frank, this is really dangerous. Don't worry, Grandpa. We've run all our tests. We've double-checked everything. The antimatter motor flybike is good. 100%, all systems go, Clink reports. Boom, chicka, boom. Technology beats Clank. Grandpa Al nods. It's not your flybike I'm worried about. It's what other people might do with your antimatter invention if they get hold of it. No one else can do this, says Frank, because no one else has Clink and Clank. And isn't this just the coolest bike ever? Grandpa Al scratches his head and smiles. Absolutely cool. This is going to work, Grandpa. This is going to work, Grandpa, Frank says. The antimatter motor flybike is going to win the prize, and we're going to keep this place forever. Grandpa Al smiles and nods. Frank carries the antimatter motor flybike out into the deserted alley, an empty lot behind Grandpa Al's building. He loads the motor with 1 drop of water to mix with the 1 drop of anti-water. He straps his helmet on tight, hops on the bike, and with 1 small flick of his thumb on the ignition switch, fires up the most amazing invention, powered by the smallest bit of matter meeting the smallest bit of antimatter with a powerful The flybike rises easily off the ground. Frank guns it forward with a lean and a twist of the acceleration hand grip. Oh yeah, cheers Watson. Frank jets a quick circle down the alley and back. He banks a faster figure 8 in the empty lot. He jumps the broken couch, flips over the stack of empty milk crates, goes horizontal along the back wall of the shop building, and does a nosedive 360, spinning to a stop exactly 7 centimeters from Watson's left toe. Clink nods his webcam eye. Energy from matter. Clank gives Frank a 1-arm hug. Sweet moves! Watson slides his toe back just a bit. An antimatter motor flyback and Watson's universal strength peanut butter bubblegum. Tomorrow, that science prize is ours for sure. Frank guns the antimatter motor with another deep which might be why no one hears or sees a tiny metal bug fly up and out Frank Einstein's lab. Ooh, it's flying, you guys. He got it to fly? What? With some crazy bubblegum made by Watson and a little bit of water and anti-water? This is incredible. But the bug is watching. Okay, let's find out what's going to happen in chapter 13.